Make the ground shake.
Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Tom or Gummy. Today we are back once again for a Fortnite Creative Modern House tutorial. This one is going to be slightly different, and it's quite a significant one because this is the first design from a build team member, and this is HvK N3XUS's design. So again, I'm going to leave all his information down in the description below, including a link to his Twitch. He live streams occasionally designing Fortnite creative houses, so if that sounds like your kind of vibe, then please do go check it out. Once again, links in the description below. But he's been working super hard on a bunch of kind of modern, small houses in Fortnite Creative Mode, and this is the first one of the series that I'm going to be featuring of his designs. So this is based loosely on the modern house from Pleasant Park, and this is kind of a ultra futuristic kind of modern style using the various cubes and shapes, and it's really nice. So we're going to be showing it to you today. Before we get into that, let's list off the materials and items you are going to need. So you're going to need in total 6 different galleries and prefabs, and that is the Cube Gallery, the Modern House, Street Gallery B, Office Gallery, Right Triangular Prism Gallery, and Factory, Stairs, and Catwalks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to list off every single item you'll need. As you can see, they're all listed out in front of you. However, some of them are a bit more, complicated in the sense that we have these different shapes which require resizing, but we'll worry about that in a second. So for now, let's get into the various items you'll need. Starting off with this white pillar. This is from the Modern House. We have this wooden staircase. This is a half-size stair, so it's only half the width of a normal staircase. Once again, from the Modern House. Next to this is grey brick wall from the Modern House, and the garage door equivalent, once again, Modern House. This wooden wall, again, Modern House. This wooden balcony, again, Modern House. This wooden fence, which is actually the end piece of this, is again from the Modern House, and so is this kind of edge here, the little 3D effect that you add to the walls, just to make it a bit bulkier on the corner pieces. This metal stairs here, the one that goes up and then goes back on itself, is from the Catwalks and Factory Stairs Gallery. This 2x2 stone tile floor is from Street Gallery B. Next to this, the tarmac-y style floor, concrete floor, is from the Office Gallery. Next to this, the wooden floor is from the Modern House. Now, in terms of the various cubes you're going to need, starting off, this white cube, just a standard white cube from the Cube Gallery. Next to this, we have a half-size cube. Now, the way you do this is you're going to grab a cube, and we are going to resize it. First off, you want to make sure that drops are off and grid snap is on 8. You're then going to want to resize it. So the way you do this, if you're on PC, I believe you hold right-click. If you are on console, it's going to be B, or I believe on PlayStation, it's going to be circle. I may be mistaken by that. So normally, it will be on, off. You're going to make sure to hold it until it says on. So as you can see in the bottom left corner, it says resize, hold, and then on. What we are then going to do is we're going to change the axes. So at the moment, it will be on all as standard. We want to make sure that this is on height. So height only. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to shrink it 5 times. So shrink once, twice, 3, 4, and 5 times. And that will give you a half-size one. Then, as you can see, if you have 2 of the half-size ones, it will give you a full one. That's a good indication that you have done it correctly. So that is the first step, as you can see. So we got a full-size cube, we have a half-size cube, and then this brings us to the triangles, which is slightly more complicated. So behind us, we have this standard white triangle. What we are going to do in terms of the heights is we're going to shrink it by 5 times. So again, same procedure applies. You're going to resize it, going to change the axes to height, and then you're going to shrink it 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you can see it is like that. What we're going to do for these ones is the exact same. So they're both height reductions by 5, however this one has just been flipped, and the way you're going to do this, so let's just grab this one, is you're going to turn the resize off, and then we're going to change the rotation axis. So as a moment, as you can see, it's on yaw. We're going to change this until it is on roll. When it's on roll, we're then going to rotate it clockwise until it's upside down, That's going to give us something that looks like this. At this point, you can then change the rotation back to yaw and rotate it around, and it's going to give us the upside down one. So again, it's very, very simple, just requires playing around with the different rotations. So that is the half cube, or the slab, I guess you could say. The roof triangles is what we're going to call these, and then that brings us to these ones. This is what we're going to be using for the windows. Now, in terms of the color, it is the second bottom one here, this kind of reflective grey. Of course, we don't have proper windows at the moment, or at least see-through ones, so this is what we're going to be working with for this build. In terms of this one, it's a standard cube of that variation. However, in terms of the width, it's been expanded by 20. So you grab a standard one. So let's grab this, we're going to resize it, and then we change the axes to width, expand it by 20, and this will give you what we are looking for. So as you can see, makes it wider. Once you rotate it, it will be correct. Now this is the equivalent of 3 individual cubes put together. It just makes it a bit quicker when we're building. The next one is this triangle. So similar to the way we did with this one, we're going to grab the triangle equivalent of this color, which is this one right here. Now, this one is slightly more difficult. So in terms of the various things we're going to resize, starting off, we're going to resize the height. We're going to increase this by 3. So 1, 2, 3. Then we change the width, and the depth, and we are going to increase this by 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Once you've done that, that is it correct. Now it should be slightly shorter in terms of width than the actual 3 cube one, and of course you can rotate that as appropriate. So once you've got that, that is all you're going to need for this build. We can then get straight into building. Just before the video starts, I want to do a quick little plug. If you do enjoy my content and want to support the channel, please consider using my support a creator code in the Fortnite item store. That is GUMMYYY, so Gummy with 3 M's and 3 Y's. This applies to all purchases on the item store. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it helps me create more regular content for you guys to hopefully enjoy. Okie dokie, so to get started, what we are going to do is we are going to grab this grey brick wall. We're going to find a nice empty space and not glitch out like we just did there for whatever reason. We're going to start off by placing 2 of these. We're then going to grab the garage door, and we're going to place 1 of the garage doors to the right of the 2 brick walls. What we're then going to do is grab this kind of tarmac floor, and we're going to place a row of 1, 2, 3 in front of it. It's important you place the floor first in this situation. Reason being is because, of course, we're working with the cubes, and if you place a tile underneath the cubes, for whatever reason, it deletes it and messes it up. So important to bear that in mind. What we're then going to do is grab ourselves this staircase. We're going to rotate it until the banister is facing towards us and it's sideways, and we're going to place this to the left of the garage door. We're then going to grab the balcony, and you probably guessed, we're going to place that to the left of the staircase. And then once we have finished that, we're going to grab the edge, which is this little barrier here, and we're going to place that right on the end, just to wrap it all up. You may have to rotate it, as you can see here, because it might not connect perfectly, but once you've rotated it, it should be fine, and should look something like this. Now, in terms of the next step, what we're going to do is grab ourselves the garage door. We're going to come around to the left side, and we're going to leave a 1 tile gap, so just place a garage door for now. Go around to the left side of this, and we're going to place a garage door, and delete this one, so it's just an empty gap. We're then going to place 2 of the walls. So again, ends up looking something like this, in terms of the overall shape. And to link it back together, we're going to place a grey wall in between the garage door and this one here. So from above, it should currently look something like this. Again, this is a small house, so it's very, very compact. So the next step we're going to do is grab the wooden floor. So let's grab that. And what we're going to do is we're going to place a row of 1, 2, and 3, like so. And then behind this, we're going to place 1, 2 on the left side, and then leave this 1 tile gap here empty. The reason we're doing this is because we're then going to grab the wooden wall, this one here, and in this corner we're going to place 1, 2, but you want to make sure that the wood is on the outside. So if it has flipped like this, then feel free to rotate it. If it won't let you rotate it for some reason, like it's not letting me rotate, then just fly around and grab it from the front side properly. So again, you place it in the corner. So you're going to have one facing this way, one facing this way, and that's going to cap off like so. If you come back around to the front side, it should now look something like this. So that is the outline of the base floor, the ground floor, the first floor, and then we're now going to add the second floor. We're going to start off by grabbing ourselves the staircase, this metal one here, next to the wooden walls, so the blue wall here. We're going to place a staircase, so with the staircase next to the wall, and then it goes up around like so. In terms of the wooden floor, we are going to place 1 in front of the stairs. We're then going to expand 1 to the left, 1 forwards, and 2 to the right. So it's going to go above this gap here and kind of cap it off at a side angle. So this is the general shape of our building so far. The next step we're going to do is add the final details to the top floor. We're going to grab ourselves the garage door, come to the front left corner, turn, and place 1, so directly in front of the stairs. We're then going to grab ourselves the grey brick wall, and to the right of this door, we're going to place 1 wall. We go up and to the left, and it ends up looking something like this. So this is the house so far. Looks a bit random, will make a lot more sense once we start adding all the different blocks. So I'm going to do a little fly around, just to give you guys the opportunity to pause if you need to do so. And then what we're going to do is start adding some details in terms of the various pillars which we're going to be using. Another thing to bear in mind is we want to start adding these corner pieces to as many of the corners as we can. So again, at the front left, and there we go. So you just want to go around the edges and place them just to give it that little bit extra shape where you can. These ones don't really matter because it will be covered eventually by the white cubes. What we're going to do is we're going to grab ourselves the white pillar. We are going to start off by heading round to the rear side of the build, this part here, and we're going to start off in the front right corner underneath this platform by placing 1. We're then going to go to the left and place a second one. So again, should look something like this. What we're then going to do is below this corner, this little overhang, we're going to place 2. So we're going to place 1 and 2. Might be a little bit of a guess. So there we go. And it ends up looking something like this. So you've got the 2 holding up the first floor, and then the 2 holding up the second floor. So that is pretty much it in terms of the core build itself. Now what we're going to do is start adding all the white blocks and all the different blocks. It's a bit of a pain, but it looks really good overall, so it is worthwhile. Once again, with the blocks, it is important to make sure they are on grid snap 8 and drops are off, otherwise they do become a problem. Also, just in terms of resize, you probably want to turn that off as well, just to avoid any issues. We're going to start on this side of the build. We're going to start in this corner, and we want to place it just in the corner. So, right there, so you can see a tiny bit on the left side is still visible, and a tiny bit on the front side also still visible. One thing to bear in mind, and something I almost forgot, is that we want to go ahead and add our tiled floor all the way around the exterior of the building, because, well, I was about to say, as you can see there, they can delete the blocks once you've placed them. However, we appear to have been quite lucky. It hasn't actually done it there. Also, want to make sure that you fill in the little garage area here with our tarmac tiles. And yeah, once you've done that, we're now ready to start placing the various blocks. So continuing where we left off in this corner here, we are going to build up 8 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it should come in line just with the next floor. What we're then going to do is build 3 to the right. So 1, 2, and 3. What we're then going to do is grab ourselves the half block, And underneath those 3 blocks we've just placed, we're going to place 3 of the half blocks. So 1, 2, 3. So it's now 1.5 blocks thick. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to this ground bit here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 to the right. So you can place 3 just to mark it out. 1, 2, 3. And on the 4th block, we're going to place 1. Whoops, make sure you actually place it on the 4th one. And delete the previous 3. So it's a 3 block gap in between this left one and the right one. From here, we're going to go up 3.5 blocks. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then we want to go up a half block, like so. Then from here, we're going to place a block above that. Delete the 3.5, so that's 1, 2, whoops, for some reason my controller has disconnected. That's never helpful. So 3.5, and you end up starting just in the staircase, as you can see right there. What we're going to do from here is build up 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So just short of the top, and it should connect up with this left side like so. So again, at this point, should look something like this. Now this point here is going to be a main kind of point for this side of the build. We're going to expand this out to the right, 8 blocks. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we're going to build it up 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. If I back up, again, should now look something like this. In terms of the next step that we're going to do, in line with this half block here, we're going to expand this row out to the side. 1, whoops, we have turned drops off on for some reason. So again, in line with the half, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 to the right. Delete that one there. And if you've done it correctly, there should be a rectangle that looks like this. Now it should be, again, half a block shorter than this area here, and in line with the half block at this point below. So it's half a block below this left side. Again, I'll back up just so you can see. The next step we're going to do, so we've got our first pillar here on the left. What we're then going to do is we're going to count 1, 2, 3, and then on the 4th block we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And what this is going to give us is, I just turned drops on, we're going to have a 7 tool area, we then have a 5 tool area, and then we have a 3 tool area. And this is going to be kind of the gradient that we have with the roof. Of course, the roof is slanted. What we're going to do is we're going to grab ourselves the white triangle. Again, make sure it is sized properly. And then we're going to go up to the top, and we're going to place a triangle on the top of each of these pillars that we have just placed. And as you can see, it gives you a shape that looks like this. So that is the core shape of this side of the building complete. What we're going to do now is throw in the various windows. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to grab our 3 wide area of this reflective material, and we are going to go to this first area here, which is the rectangle at the bottom. Go to the bottom left corner, and we're going to go half a block in, and we're going to place 1, 2, and then fill in the gap there. We're going to add a second layer. So again, 1, 2, and 1 block, and then 1, 2, and 1 block. So it's essentially 3 rows tall, and 2 of the 3 wides, and 1 section. If you don't want it overlapping like this, just grab a singular block, but it doesn't really matter because it won't actually show. Grab the 3 wide area, come up to the next section, which is in between the 7 tool and the 5 tool area. Once again, go half a block in, and we're going to place 1. We're then going to place a second, third, fourth, and then a fifth. So again, as you can see, looks like this. So on top of this, once again, it is 5 tall. On top of this, we are going to grab ourselves the triangle. We're going to rotate this. We're going to place it on top. And if positioned correctly, it will end up looking, whoops, which I've not done. It will end up looking something like this. Now, it might look a bit weird, but once we go ahead and add the roof, it will look perfectly normal. In terms of the next section, on the right side, we're once again going to grab the 3 wide area, come to the gap here, half a block backwards, and we're going to place 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to grab ourselves the triangle, and we're going to place 1 on top. And again, it ends up looking something like this. So that is the left side, or I guess you could say the front side of the building. If you want to pause, please feel free to do so. And now what we're going to do is rotate round to the left side and start working on that. So right now, it looks something like this. Again, if you haven't got that, please do go back in the video. What we're going to do is grab the white pillar, or the white block, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. And on the fourth one, it should be positioned right perfectly in the center of that block or corner there. We're going to build up 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Whoops, messed up the 8th one. And it should be perfectly in line with the top of this previous pillar right there. What we're going to do here on the right side is we're going to expand 1, 2, 3, fourth block is already here, 5, 6, 7, and 8 to the side. Then what we're going to do is we're going to grab these half blocks, and underneath all these blocks here, we're going to place a row of half blocks. So again, this is underneath, and that's going to be a solid row going all the way across. So it ends up looking something like this. The next step we're going to do is we're going to go back to the bottom. We're going to count up 1, 2, 3, and a half. Then what we're going to do is we are going to place a block. So again, we've got a 3.5 block gap, which let me double check that because I might have messed it up. So 1, 2, 3, and a half. So the next block starts here. So this is technically the 4.5 block. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the side. Delete the 3.5 blocks below it, not the floor, ideally. And it's going to look like this. This will match up in terms of length with the bit above. However, we're not going to join them together. The next step we're going to do is we're going to grab our 3 wide windows. We're going to come around to this area at the bottom. And once again, we're going to go half a block in. We place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a half of these windows. Now, occasionally, you will get this little glitch here. If that is the case, again, I'm not 100% sure what we can do about it. It is a slight issue, but it shouldn't be too noticeable. Again, for me, it's looking a bit frustrating right now, but can be fixed. I believe if you remove this floor here and replace it, it can fix it. However, there is also the risk that you break the blocks, hence why I'm just going to leave it as it is. But again, that's up to you. In terms of the next step, we're once again going to grab the windows, come to this left corner here, and we're going to place 1, 2, 3. We're also then going to place half a block. So we place half, half, and half. So it should be half a block shorter than the white, which is going to wrap around the side of the building. So for now, that is this side of the build complete. Once again, if you want to pause, you are more than welcome to do so. And then we are going to continue now to the next side of the build. So let's move around to this side here and start making some progress. We're going to start off at the very bottom here by going 8 to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then from here, we're going to build up 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Then what we're going to do is grab the triangle from the other side, place it on top, and it should match up with the existing side in terms of the measurements. The next step we're going to do is we are going to build across this platform here. We're going to start off on the underside, so lower, in line with the half block, and we're going to go 7 to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and it links up, as you can see there. What we're then going to do is, above this block here, which is in line with the wall, we are going to build up 7 in total. So, whoops, if I can actually place it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then we're going to link this area here using the half blocks. So 1, 2, and 3. So again, on this side, the half blocks are on the upper part, and the normal blocks are on the lower part. For this top part here, we're going to grab, once again, a triangle. We're going to place that on top, and that is the exact same as the other side. So right now, it looks something like this. In terms of the next step, we're going to expand this part here to the left. So we are going to go 1, whoops, if I can place it properly, 1, 2, 3, and 4 to the left. We're then going to go up 1, 2, whoops, 3, and then we're going to grab ourselves a triangle from the other side, and that should look like this. So again, in terms of height, this is 4 tall, this is 6 tall, and this is 8 tall. And that leaves us now to deal with the windows. So once again, we grab the 3 wide area. In this first section on the left side, we go half a block inwards, and we're going to place 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to grab the triangle. This time we place the larger side on the right side, so it slants down to the left, and that is the first section. The second section, to the right of this, we are going to go up 1, 2, whoops, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're then going to grab the triangle, once again, larger side on the right, and place it like so. So that is the windows on the upper section. The windows on this lower section here, we're going to expand out from the existing ones on the right side. So we're going to go 1, 2.5 to the left, and we're going to build these up like so. In total, again, it is 3 blocks tall. Doesn't really matter where you place them, as long as it fills in the area like so. And once you've done that from a corner angle, it should look something like this. If it does, great. If it doesn't, once again, go back in the video, see where things haven't gone quite to plan, and then work from there. So let's head round to the final side before we move on to the roof, which is this section here. Now that is a bit misleading because we also need to work on this corner. So getting the corner out of the way first, we're going to go from this white block existing 3 to the left, if I can place it. So 1, 2, and 3. Then what we're going to do is go a further block into the wall, so I guess a 4th block, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4 to the left again. So it's going to give you this corner shape, which looks like this. From this block, we're going to build up 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that should match to the exact same height as the block to the, or the pillar, should I say, to the left of it. So right now, again, this corner looks like this. We're going to go ahead and link this pillar to this one by placing 1, 2, and 3 in the middle. Now you have an option at this point. You can leave this as it is, or alternatively, you can fill it in with blocks. Now, thing to consider is that this will impact the interior of the build. So again, it is up to you. I am going to go ahead and fill it in. So once again, this is fully optional. The way you go about filling it in, pretty self-explanatory. You literally just go ahead and fill in all the gap which is showing of the wooden wall. Of course, sometimes it can be a bit tricky actually placing the blocks. As you can see here, for whatever reason, it is being a bit peculiar in the way that it is not letting me place them as easy as it should be. But it's just a simple case of avoiding doing what I did there, which is placing them inside the wall, and going ahead and building them up layer by layer. Now, once again, same logic applies once you get to the top layer, whether you want to fill the top side in or not. For the sake of keeping the video nice and short and simple, I'm not going to fill that in, but once again, that's an option that you can play around with if you want to. So yeah, you can see I'm doing a pretty rough job of getting them in the place, but we're making progress. So again, logic being, you just want to try and make sure that at all times the box remains blue. That's a good indication. If it goes white, of course, you're going to start placing stuff in the walls, which you can see I've done quite a bit. So yeah, as you can see, again, another thing, if you want to, is to grab the half blocks and place the half blocks as the roof rather than necessarily a full block. The reason that's a good option is because it still gives you this nice polished, finished look. However, doesn't impact the floor above it. So if you were placing full blocks, you'd be able to see it through the actual floor. So if you came up here, the blocks would be in the floor. Of course, if you place half ones, that is not the case. So something to consider. So that is that corner complete. Coming back round to this final side, we're going to, again, link up this left side to right side. So 3 blocks in between, like so. And then what we're also going to do is join them at the top. So that is, if I can place it correctly, 1, 2, and 3 at the top. And we're going to place a solid row of the triangles all the way across like that. In terms of this wall here, go ahead and fill it in solid. So that is 3 rows of solid, it's a 3x3 square essentially, of the white blocks. And carry this row of the triangles over to the edge. And it ends up looking something like this. The final touch, of course, is the windows. So go ahead, grab the 3 wide windows. Go half a block in, and we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and that will fill in the windows. Once again, you get this stripe across there from the staircase. Not much you can do about it. I believe, again, if you take away the staircase, replace it, it might fix it, but again, not going to do that in the video. So that brings us to the final step of this build, arguably the most, I guess, difficult. And for whatever reason that floor is gone. Yeah, so the next step is going to be the roof. Now in terms of the roof, this is solid out of the grey triangles, so these two here. So I'm going to grab them over and show you the general gist of what we are going to be doing. So again, you want to make sure that you have the upside down one facing towards the left and the normal one facing towards the right. In terms of the dimensions, it is going to overextend on the left side and right side of the building by 1 block. It's going to overextend the rear side of the building by 1 block, and it's going to overextend the front side by 2 blocks. The way we're going to do this is we're going to start off by grabbing the upside down one. We're going to go to the side of the building, and we're going to place it in line, so above the white, like so. What we're then going to do is we are going to go up diagonal to the left twice, and then we're going to go down diagonal once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5, 6, 7, make sure you place them correctly, 8, and 9. So it ends up looking something like this. Now, as you can see, I messed up the placement a little bit. Just fix that up real quick, and then we'll get into the minor details. Majority of this I am going to get done off screen, purely because it is pretty time consuming. But you can see there, that is the general gist of what we're going to be doing. In terms of the windows, raise it up until it matches in line with the actual gap. So if you need to raise it up one like so, feel free to do that, and just grab the further block and add another row. You can see there, in terms of the positioning, not the best. And it ends up, as you can see, looking like that. So it looks a lot better. Again, raise it up. Angle, not the easiest to work with, but important nonetheless. So it ends up looking something like this. What we're then going to do is grab the normal facing one towards the right, and we're going to go ahead and on top of every single one we've placed, place a normal facing one. And what this is going to give us, if you do it correctly, is a nice slanted shape going all the way down the side of the building. So if I back up, you can see it now looks something like this. What we're going to do is we're going to extend this one block forwards. So again, to give us our one block overhang. We're then going to repeat the exact same step as what we've done. So the exact same pattern, I will go through it on the right side. So again, the exact same thing. It is difficult in terms of you feel like you're placing them in the right place. As you can see, I'm placing them slightly too forwards quite often. It is just a little bit of a kind of guessing game in that sense. So again, the upwards facing ones, make sure you place them in the right place, otherwise it gives you weird shadows. And yeah, that is the general pattern. So I'll fill these few in, and then we're going to repeat this on the other side. Once you have repeated it on the other side, we are then going to fill in the middle section. So you can see now we've got a one block overhang towards the right side, 2 blocks at the front, and 1 block at the rear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat this, and then I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll come back again, do another quick cut, and fill in all the middle section. Okie dokie, so as you can see, I've gone ahead and repeated this on the other side. Once again, had to raise the windows by 1 block just to make sure it's nice and smooth, nice smooth transition. And yeah, you can see it is the exact same pattern on each side, and then it's just a case of making them meet in the middle. So in terms of this, what we are going to do is we're going to expand that's half a block. We're going to expand 1, 2, 3, again, half a block, 4, again, half a block, 5, 6, and 7 over to the side, and we're going to do this for each and every angle, and then what you'll get is a nice smooth roof going all the way down the top of the building. So again, I'm going to make a quick cut in the video here, and I'll come back once that's complete. Okay, so as you can see, once that is all done, this is the finished look. I will do a little spin around, but the main things to bear in mind is, once again, it extends 1 block on the left, 1 block on the right, 2 blocks at the front, and then 1 block at the rear. Once you've done that, you're also then more than welcome to go ahead and add the exterior. In terms of the exterior shown in the thumbnail, this was part of the original design by HvK N3XUS, and this is part of the kind of tropical theme. The way you could add a pool is very, very simple. You can grab the water and elements gallery, wherever it is, the elemental cubes gallery, equip it, throw it down, and then grab the little water panes, this one here, so the half piece, and go ahead and place that in this area to the left of the building. I'm not going to do that on camera because I want to wrap up the video here and keep it a little bit shorter for you guys. So if you did enjoy, a like is once again very much appreciated. If you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing with notifications on, just in case you don't trust YouTube to actually notify you when I upload. And frankly, I do not blame you. Follow me on Twitter at Gummy. I tweet out every time I upload, and I've also been posting on a community tab, doing a few little things to let you know what is coming up, some little sneak peeks and some teasers for future builds. And yeah, once again, huge thanks to HvK N3XUS for the really, really awesome design. You're going to be seeing a lot more of his builds on the channel in the next few weeks to months. And yeah, if you want to see some of your designs, if you're a decent builder and have some awesome house designs that you want featured on the channel, once again, I'm going to leave a link in the description to an application. It's a simple form, fill out your information, and upload some images of your work, and we'll then be in touch and hopefully get you guys in the build team. We're going to be working on some cool stuff, so stay tuned. Apart from that, again, thank you to HvK N3XUS Twitch in the description, and yeah, going to wrap up the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, my name has been Tom or Gummy, and goodbye. Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light